whatever it is, risk hai to risk hai. Hey folks, see Rachana Ranade here, and I welcome you all to another interesting lecture which is about understanding and analyzing your risk profile. There are many people who get highly inspired by the dialogue which is risk hai to isk hai, and then they will invest their money in very risky assets. Now, what do I mean by risky assets? They are those assets which are very much volatile in nature. Okay, so understand that let's say I'm a person who doesn't have a very much risk taking capacity. I invest in a stock at this level. Okay, it's very volatile. The moment I buy it, within few minutes or days, it crashes like anything. I go in a panic, and because of that panic, I sell off all my stocks, and within next few minutes or few days, it bounces up like anything. And in that case, there is only one song which comes straight out of your heart, which is तो लुट गए हाँ लुट गए तो लुट गए हम तेरी इन्वेस्टमेंट में. Well, before we move on as to how to calculate your risk profile, I'm sure there might be few people who are not really sure when someone asks them a question that whether are you a risk averse person or are you a risk neutral person or what. So they really don't understand the exact terminology of what do we mean by risk profiling. For that, I had included this entire section in my Magic of Mutual Fund course. So those who have already enrolled for the course, they know about this. But for those who have not yet enrolled for the course, I thought that this clipping from the course is very important for you to understand the exact meaning of risk profiling. So let's check out that clipping for you. Well, the first step in choosing the mutual fund is understanding your own risk profile. Now, before I talk about risk profile in relation to mutual funds, I'll give you a different example first. Uh, Whenever I take my child to a playground, not during corona situations, otherwise I'm talking about, okay, whenever I take him to the playground, it does happen that I can see, I just try to observe other mothers around me, right? So what happens with me, I'll tell you first. My son goes, starts playing in mud, he will fall 10 times, he'll get up 20 times. He is ekdam chill person, right? If you're following my Instagram, you might have checked make out, right? So whenever he falls down, I'm okay with that. I mean, he is going to fall a little bit. There are going to be some scars, some wounds. Yes, that is going to happen. He's a child. That is ought to happen. Okay, but there are some mothers who will look at me like this. That such an irresponsible mother is standing right next to me. They have that much that expression on their face, and when they are looking at their child, even if he gets like a little bit scratch on his hand, they'll be like, "Oh my dear, my honey, what happened to you?" Okay, so there are two types of mothers. In short, I am a person who knows that whenever a child is playing in the playground, some risk is involved and I'm ready to take that much risk. If I'm not ready to take that much risk, I should not be taking my child to the playground only, right? There are some mothers who will take their child to the playground, but they are not ready to take any risks. Not even one scratch, not even one wound should be there on their child's hands or legs. Okay. So, which type of mother was standing next to me? A risk averse person. She did not want to take even a little bit of risk for her son. I was like, okay, little bit risk is there. He will fall. It's okay. We'll apply medicines. He'll grow up. No problem for that. So I was a person who was ready to take some risk. As we mothers do take some risks while growing up our children, definitely every investor while growing their children, I mean growing their portfolio, do take up are exposed to so many risks. What could be the risk? These risks that could be obviously because of the market fluctuation. Sometimes market can go up, sometimes it can go down. Even if you are invested in a debt mutual fund, the investments in which the various bonds or debentures wherever they have invested, that bond could go default. I mean that could go as a junk one. There could be a default there as well. So a person who is an investor knows that yes, there is a little bit risk involved, and I'm ready to take that risk. That shows how much risk capacity you have. So very first step before investing in mutual fund is you must understand how much risk capacity do you have. If you feel that impossible, I just can't take any risk. Okay, I'm talking about a person who is, let us say, 70 years old, okay, doesn't have children, and he has very limited savings left with him. And I tell him, go for equity, best. No, that is impossible. Do you think that person will be definitely a risk averse person? What do you mean by risk averse? A person who would not want to take risks, wherein he is not, I mean, he's not so much financially strong, a limited portfolio, limited means to stay on. So in such a case, I'll say he's a risk averse person who would not want to take up risks. Okay. A person who is ready to take up risks is a person who has a good risk capacity. But wait, there's also one more very important point to that. Some people feel that, yeah, sorry, I'm earning, I'm 30 years old. Okay, I have a good steady job. Okay, I earn, let us say, 1 lakh rupees per month. After all the expenses, almost, let us say, 25-30,000 are remaining with me. Okay, now what is 30,000? I can definitely, out of 30,000, at least 20,000 I can risk out. Okay, he very sure about that person. So he puts 20,000 in, some in equity, some in mutual funds, and market crashes. Happens now. Whenever we invest, there is someone looking that Rachana is invested, then market will go down. Correct? So that happens with every one of us. That whenever we invest, first time whenever we are investing, something will go wrong. Okay. So with that, if you are not able to sleep, oh my god, yesterday only I started my investment and 2% my portfolio is down. If you are not able to sleep, then what is the interpretation? You did have the risk capacity, you did have that much funds available with you, but you were mentally not ready to take that risk. Okay, please understand the slight difference. Did you have money? Yes. Did you feel that you can easily invest? Yes. Did you invest? Yes. And the day something went wrong, you were not able to sleep. It means that you are a risk averse person. Well, now that you have understood exactly what do we mean by analyzing the risk, now let's understand how can you really calculate your own risk. For that, you have many calculators which are available online, absolutely free of cost. But this is the one which I like the most. Reason being that it does not ask for your details like name, mobile number, whatever. So let's understand how to use this risk profiling tool. So first of all, it just says that you have to answer these 6 questions that can help you to know your risk appetite and your demographic score. So first question is that what's the first thought that crosses your mind when you invest? There are 4 options given. So I'll tell you my answers for that. I feel that this should turn out to be a good investment. Once I answer this, I just go on to the next question. What do you normally associate with the word risk? I feel risk is not a thrill, but it's an opportunity. These are my answers. Please don't copy my answers. Okay. Third one is that would you prefer to run your own business or be a salaried employee? I dare not say salaried employee, of course, run my own business. Next, to what extent would you expose your investments to risks to earn higher returns? So I may expose about 40% of my total investments to earn higher returns, not more than that. Next, how would you feel if the performance of your recent investments are below expectations? uh, will I be very upset, somewhat upset, uneasy, but willing to take my stride? Not upset, because I know that all investments carry risk. Actually, it's somewhere between these 3 and 4, but there is no option. Chalo, I'll say uneasy, but willing to take that as a stride. And the last one is, would you invest in a company that underperformed in the past and caused you losses? So I personally believe that just because it has performed bad in the past does not mean it will always perform bad. So perhaps I will if the performance increases or improves. So this is what, okay, chalo, female, income below 1 crores, educational background graduate, okay, below, investment horizon above 3 years, age obviously below 60, self-employed in above 3 years, and evaluate now. So this one says you are a high risk investor. Okay, so this will help me to classify, okay, I am a high risk investor, and that's how, based on this, I can start my investment journey. You might have seen this scene in Bollywood movies where the heroine enters the home for the very first time, like she starts her new life. This is like your first step in your investment life. So I hope you have understood the importance of calculating your own risks. I hope you have understood what is exactly meant by risk profiling. I hope you have understood how to calculate your own risk profile. But if you want to learn more and more about mutual funds, I do have a separate course which is titled as Magic of Mutual Funds. You can surely consider for enrolling for this course. If you have loved this video, don't forget to share it with your friends. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and bye bye.